Welcome to We Learn, Virtual Learning Network. This is session number 36 of the subject, the study of society, and the chapter is Complex Society. The topics to be covered are defining a complex society, rural-urban dichotomy, aspects of community life, types of urbanization, modern society, work in complex societies, work structures, conflict in industry, employment and women, and post-industrial society. So, a complex society is described as modern industrial nation states which are contrasted with the simple societies in various important ways. They have larger territory and population membership, greater occupation differentiation and specialization of work and social groups, advanced technology for production of consumer items, building of houses, workplaces, etc. Greater coordination in the management of the complex society, quick rate of change in terms of consumer goods, forms of education and so on, faster modes of learning in mass communication such as radio, TV, computers, internet, etc. Initially it was technological advances that ushered in change. Huge markets sprang up, occupational opportunities and population increase created the nation state. So all these things defines the complex society wherein the rate of change in terms of consumer goods, forms of education, modes of learning through mass communication such as radio, TV, computers, internet, technological advances, spranging up of markets, occupational opportunities and also populational increase that define the complex society. Rural-urban dichotomy. Sociologists had earlier thought that there is a clear difference between the urban and the rural community. However, gradually this collective rural-urban dichotomy underwent change. Some sociologists found that there was as much individualism, lack of understanding, fear and suspicion of strangers even among the villagers as it existed in the urban life. The peaceful village image of rural life took a severe blow. The aspects of community life, one thing is clear that rural and urban life in complex society is not the opposite of one another. In fact, it could no longer be assumed that environment determined any one type of association. However, this is not to say that rural and urban populations do not have any differences. Later studies stressed that social class and stage and family cycle were very important factors in the complex societies. Some sociologists point out that it is a group that is influenced, not the community as such. They argue in favor of studying local social systems. They feel these should be studied with reference to maintenance and establishment, modifying circumstances, and interrelationships with national systems. It was suggested that community ties and behaviors are very much linked to national ties as well. So types of urbanization are over-urbanization, under-urbanization and de-urbanization. The developing world is experiencing over-urbanization. Cities are enclaves which are surrounded by villages. They are also considered to beachheads from which economic growth and its benefits go out towards rural areas. Such urban centers become exploiters of the rural areas near them. They are themselves dependent on industrial nation for economic and political dominance. In this situation, manufacturing industry does not go strong. Modern society, it is basically industrial. In such societies, we find that technical skills are valued very much. Unskilled labor is valued but much less so. So in modern society, the technical skills are valued and unskilled labor is not valued as such. All this is reflected in the wage structure. Administration and management services are very prestigious. Modern society has several features. These include profit motive production by big capitalists, technological advances, high rate of urban population, bureaucratic organization and spread of education. Thus, modern societies, large organizations are very important, but they make interaction impersonal. Thus, those employed in urban areas could not be given housing by the state. So, in modern society, technological advances, population, bureaucratic organization, spread of education and profit motive, all these things exist. Further, the free things also in contrast to over-urbanization in the developing world, there is under-urbanization in Eastern Europe. This in a sense the opposite case relative to over-urbanization. While the former is produced by industrialization and low rural employment opportunities, under-urbanization is a result of extra or over industrialization accompanied by a lack of support systems like housing. In under-urbanization, proper industrialization in terms of proper housing and support systems does not take place, and in over urbanization, lot of industrialization, lot of modernization takes place in the terms of housing as well. Market rate was too steep for the average person's budget. Workers thus have to travel a long way up and down to work. Market rate is also very much high. The next aspect that we examine is of deurbanization. In Britain, since the late 70s, there has been a movement away from large urban to villages. Thus, has been a ruralization of urban or rural relations. This is seen as a result of the economic and industrial policies which encourage such a process. Such ruralization especially is evident in advanced technology sectors, and in modern society also there are many varieties of subcultures and countercultures, each representing a section of people. These form around music, philosophy or political beliefs. Further, we find that the arena of the sacred is relatively small in modern societies. On the other hand, folk societies are much smaller and closely knit together. There is little use of technology and the religious ethos is very strong. It presents to an extent a picture opposite to that of modern society. So the folk societies, that they are much smaller and they are closely knit. They are closely knit and there is the little use of technology, and the religious sentiments, they are very strong. Work in complex societies. Work in complex organizations means work that is paid. However, work may not earn monetary wage. It may be time consuming and call for skill without being wage productive. For example, house repairs. In simple societies, the tendency is often to be partial towards leisure. Work is thus mental or physical action that has some end result. Thus, work has a wide range of being. So, work also includes mental action as well as a physical action that has some end result or the output. Work structures. Very often in simple societies, work is deeply linked with family and religion. Bronislaw Malinowski indicates that in Trobriand Islands, many day-to-day tasks were overseen by a magician. Again, what was produced agriculturally was distributed keeping kinship obligations in mind. In such societies, work is not separated from domestic activities. This is true also of pre-industrial France. Here, household members helped in every way or the other. Modern society, in contrast, complex societies have specific workers or employees for the specific work, but in the early societies, the work was on the farm and it was not divided as such. These people have a common workplace away from home. Their work uses power and machinery. In modern society, the people have a common workplace away from home, and power and machinery is used, and also work is also supervised. Thus, there is little job freedom. Fixed hours have to be worked without a let up in effort. The main attraction for the employees in a complex society is the wages they are paid. They have to submit themselves to higher authorities, manager, supervisor, etc. while at work. In complex societies, commercial offices stress timekeeping and ceaseless labor. So in complex societies, commercial offices, they also stress timekeeping and ceaseless labor. Timekeeping is part and parcel of capitalist and modern work modes. Gradually, these factors were no longer considered to be imposed upon the workers. So timekeeping and also that is part and parcel of capitalist societies and modern work modes, and these factors were no longer considered to be imposed. The employees or the workers themselves found it convenient. They were willing to work hard and to follow all the rules. Thus, some sociologists have pointed out that simple societies have had a better life. It's not so mechanical and relentlessly time-oriented. There is time enough for leisure. In complex societies, the concept of leisure time has taken another meaning. Some institutions, for example, companies, offices, etc., give paid vacations to their employees as well. Special leaves are given so that the productivity and capacity of the workers may improve. Work has become a vital aspect of life in complex societies, and wage labor is an important factor in the area of work. To get the work done is also considered a kind of work. Some sociologists think that when work as an employment earning wages, a social status and standard of living pervades all areas of life. So a social status, standard of living, that also pervades in all areas of life as it does in a complex society. People's attitudes become exceedingly commercialized. So the tendency of commercialization can lead to conflicts among the factors of economy. To illustrate this point, we also take the issue of conflict in industry. So commercialization and the shift in attitudes, shift in people's attitudes, that has also taken over. In industry, the employer has control over the employee's labor over a particular time. The employer would like to use his employee in different capacities, therefore, he leaves the contract sufficiently vague. Nevertheless, work conditions and effort, technical qualifications, and responsibility are areas of management, worker discussions, and often disputes. Thus, work effort is always being discussed relative to pay. The worker wants higher pay and facilities. The management, however, wants to maximize profits and thus includes keeping low wages and longer hours of work for the workers. The same problem exists with technical skill and pay the most. Visible form of industrial conflict are legal or illegal strikes. However, the other methods require cooperation among workers to go slow, absenteeism, and sabotage. These methods may not show much on surface but cause great damage to management. Industrial conflict has most meaning when it is recognized by management as a just step. So industrial conflict that also has meaning when it is recognized by the management as a just step. And in complex societies, these are also things when these methods going slow, absenteeism, and also that does not show much on the surface but cause greater damage to the management. Employment and women. In complex societies, appreciable headway has been made on employment of women. Women, however, remain separated from men in the work spheres. There is horizontal segregation in that women are mostly in clerical jobs, catering, receptionists, nursing, school teaching, and so on. It's no longer felt that a woman must stay at home and only do domestic work. Further, the concept of two incomes has gained popularity since it raises the standard of living. The responsibility of raising the young, however, remains vested with women. This is also true of domestic work, and in most nuclear families in urban areas, men do contribute to the domestic work in one way or the other out of choice or out of compulsion. It's often felt that they have domestic interests which reduce work seriousness. Thus, this needs not be true, however, that union meetings, etc., are not conducive to women's participation, although communication and technology advancement is bringing more and more women into the workforce. In general, work is still more male-oriented. We'll examine 3 of them and 2 more in the next section. The first important feature is service economy. In more post-industrial society, agriculture and manufacturing do not absorb a majority of the workforce. Services and trade are the major avenues of employment, and the governments are major employees. Professional and technicians. In industrial societies, blue-collar and semi-skilled labor predominate as well. In post-industrial societies, professional and technical operators grow to dominate. A class structure begins to form the basis of industrial society. Theoretical knowledge. In post-industrial society, theoretical knowledge has a crucial value. Scientific knowledge along with mathematics based on social science also forms the crux. And in fact, a shortage of scientifically trained professionals is also felt. In providing this need, universities gain a great deal of importance. So that was all about professional and complex societies, simpler societies, how people are also earning for raising their standard of living, and also spending longer hours to also earn money, and the way they are using the leisure time as well. So these are some of the questions. You have to do it yourself. First, what are the aspects of community life? Define the types of urbanization. Define the conception of employment with women. That's all. Thank you. Happy learning. We learning.